This is my very favorite lesson in living a longer and healthier life. It's lesson 3. For me, at least, this is the one that speaks to me. It's the one that makes the most sense to me. It talks about so much. I don't know where to begin. It talks about learning how to break a behavioral chain. Because when you do a certain behavior, it's not like you just did that behavior. In other words, if I ate the entire pumpkin pie all by myself, not saying I did, but if I did, there were actually a series of steps that would lead me to that. And it's called a behavioral chain because you could break the chain anywhere along the entire process and you wouldn't end up with the same result. So, for example, I might have started and said, this year, I'm not going to make pumpkin pie. We're not going to have it. We don't need sweets. That would have broken the chain. Or perhaps I could serve it to everyone and then make sure that I gave all the leftovers away so they left the house afterward. Or perhaps the reason why I might sit down and eat an entire pumpkin pie by myself would be that I was feeling stressed. And I could say, that really doesn't solve the stress issue. It simply drugs it, avoids the stress issue. And maybe what I could do is some simple deep breathing, do some yoga or something to work through my stress in a positive way. Or finally, it might be to have someone offer me a small portion and take it away so I'm not sitting there in the fridge. I mean, there's a whole bunch of steps. And anytime you do a behavior you don't want, it's not that one thing. There were a whole bunch of decisions leading up to it. So another part of this lesson, besides breaking the behavioral chain, is learning something called stop, challenge, choose. Think of it like red light, yellow light, green light. Stop. What am I about to do? I'm about to eat an entire pumpkin pie. Challenge. Do I really want that? Is this really solving my itch? What is it that I'm looking for? Is this really going to give it to me? And remember, I've done other lessons where I talked about the different brains, where we have the fight or flight, the lower brain, that quick decision, gut feeling brain, as well as the thoughtful frontal lobe. And when we say sleep on something, it's because it takes time for the frontal lobe to get involved and figure it out. Well, that stop challenge, that challenge moment, it gives you a little bit of time to really think things through. And then choose. And maybe it's all right to choose whatever. Maybe you need to eat that whole pumpkin pie. I don't know. But at least it's a thoughtful decision, and it will save you a lot of heartache later by doing the stop, challenge, choose. Then another part of this lesson that I absolutely love is the fact that we all have triggers. And recognizing our triggers is a really, really important part of finding better strategies. And so it makes us identify, when we did have a result that we didn't want because we had a behavior we didn't like. What was the trigger that led us up to that? Was it fatigue? Was it stress? Was it anger? Was it sadness? Was it boredom? Whatever. Write down the trigger. And then we're going to think of a strategy for next time when we're not feeling that trigger. Because having a plan in advance is really, really helpful. And so this lesson, in my mind, is one of the most useful lessons of the entire book because we all have triggers and we all need to think about what they are and plan how we're going to do better next time and know that we always control everything. That whole behavioral chain, you break any link and you don't end up with the end thing. So I really hope you go to your book And this one doesn't even have a reading lesson assigned. It's just lesson 3. Do it and use it and let me know if it helps you. And let me know if you like it as much as I do. Maybe there's a different lesson that you like better. I always think it's interesting how the book speaks to us when we're ready, and each of us will have a different chapter. But this is my favorite. So have a great week. Enjoy lesson 3. I'll talk to you later.